once a week? Do you have to do it every few days? What is it?
Roughly, the doctors administer it once a week if you get a
Mm-hmm.
prescription. A lot of guys just do it on their own because it's not expensive. That's
Right.
what's funny. A bottle of testosterone that'll last you, let's say 10 weeks is 35 bucks. It's not expensive.
Jeez.
So
Wow.
yeah, there's no expense to it. The only thing that's expensive is like growth hormone and like maybe sometimes Anavar and then halotestin. Halotestin is expensive. Other than that, it's not expensive at all. And I actually, this is fact, once you become a big enough name and you're on gear, you will be approached by sponsors for your gear, like legit top. I'm talking multi-million dollar operations these guys run. Like I got approached years ago, multi-million dollar operation this guy was running with dealers all under him at high quality pharmaceutical facilities. Like they don't just make this in their basement. This isn't crappy like some guy in his basement cooking it up. This is like made in a professional lab, top quality, the best you can find. They approach you, they say, hey, all I want is just a referral. Like anybody who you know who needs it, refer them to me. And that's
Mm-hmm.
all. They don't want your money or anything, and they just send you whatever you want. So the last few years, probably the last like 4 years I was on gear, I was just getting hooked up left and right. Like I know other people who had the same hookups. Um, you become a big enough name and you'll just get hooked up. Like you don't even have to pay thousands of dollars of free steroids. Top notch too. It was like the best stuff. No side effects, like not the bad side effects from the stuff that guys making in his basement and not sanitary. This is like
Mm-hmm.
lab quality, high grade, multi-million dollar operation. Now that guy he was a fantastic guy. He never revealed his identity, the head of the whole operation. It's such a thing. Like there's so much risk. He never told me his name, but he was very nice to me. We corresponded over, encrypted emails and such. And he was like he would ask me, how's the family doing? Like all this kind of stuff, like nicest guy ever. And he wasn't the one. He'd have people under him, like shipping it out and all that. It was like a huge
Mm-hmm.
operation. Unfortunately, feds got him. Feds, yeah. I know he's a great guy. Like I love the guy. Like I don't even know who it was, but he was such a fantastic guy, stand up. And it's funny to think, but
Oh,
like the feds got him in December. So
yeah.
it was crazy. But I was obviously wasn't taking anything at that point because it's been 18 months. But you will literally get like approached with sponsorships for gear at a high level. It's crazy. It's like such a underground world. But I don't think I've ever told that. That's a good story. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I have so many questions stemming off of this, but one that I definitely wanted to ask you. So okay, if we're talking about like, say for example, none of this is prescribed to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you go to some, big dogs meet in Australia or whatever is going on,
Yep.
how does that work?
As far as traveling with it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see. Here's how I did it. I was always sketched out. I'm like, I'm not. I've literally heard of guys. They pack the syringe loaded with the stuff in their like carry on, and they don't even say anything about it. Like I've heard this. I'm like, I'm too sketched out by that. Like I'm not
Yeah.
packing needles in my freaking carry on. That's
Right. I
crazy.
mean, if it's prescribed, then it's fine. But
No, they're not prescribing you tren and stuff. So I was like, I didn't do needles. So I didn't do a ton of like big meets. All the big meets I did were in California, Boss of
Mhm.
Bosses, Record Breakers, all that. Now I would pin Thursday at like freaking midnight, like in the morning, like okay, 1 a.m. Thursday morning. The plane, we're getting on the plane at like 6 a.m. right for California. I would do I would take like 3 cc's of this, 3 cc's of this. So I would take a bunch of tests and a bunch of tren. I would inject it at like 1 a.m. when I woke up to get ready for the airport to the drive. And then that'd be Thursday. The competition would be, 2.5 days later, roughly, because we're going back to what is it? Mountain, not mountain time. I'm spacing out here, Pacific time.
Mhm.
So it'd be about 2.5 days later. So my last shots were 2.5 days before. And then I would the orals, like the oral steroids, you can take on the plane. They don't give a crap. Like they don't even,
Mhm.
bro, they're not checking that. They don't care. They just want to make sure it's not like actual recreational drugs. But you could take a pill box of like whether it's a prescription pill box you have from some other prescription, and you can put your Anavar in there or your Anadrol, or you could take like you could take anything. You could take a bottle of vitamin D and pour it out and put your anadrol in there. And you take that and you can take that, no problem. You're never going to get caught. But I know a lot of people, there's people who will be out at the meet and they have gear and you can get it from them. So like I did one time, I flew for a meet in Nova Scotia, Canada, right?
Yeah.
I'm not packing anything. That's crazy. But the guy who flew me out there, because I was sponsored by USP Labs, Jack 3D, he worked for them. So he flew me out there. I could get endless supply of Jack, which would probably get you popped by WADA now. But he gave me a hookup. He's like, here, have all the trend you want. I've got it. You can go, you just go in the bathroom, pin.
That's what I figured it was like. Yeah.
These are fantastic questions because honestly, Chance, I've never talked about this stuff. It's funny. I don't know, and it's not that I'm hiding. I just don't know. Like, I forget about it. I'm like, I forget to even talk about this cool stuff. And no, there were some fun times. Like that's when I met actually Greg Doucette out there at that meet. I did the meet with him when he was just like a bodybuilder powerlifter, and now he's like this freaking huge 1 million+ people on YouTube and Instagram. And so I've been around some crazy people, but those are some fun nostalgia questions. That's like the meet, Chance, the meet I did with Hack. He was sorry, I'm rambling on.
Raw Unity.
Yeah. So that was when Hack and I we flew out there together. My dad picked us up. We flew to the airport out of Milwaukee, and we had like got a room, and like I was like pinning shit, and Hack's like, "What are you doing, dude?" And I'm just like, "I got to get ready for the meet." And, like all this trend and stuff. It's hilarious, but he was completely natural, and I just had no idea. Like even back then when Hack was natural, I was like, "This guy's on roids. I don't believe him," even though I never saw him like take anything. Because like he's so strong, I don't believe he's claiming natural. Turns out he was natural. And look at his numbers now. Like it's kind of what we talked about, where the numbers are crazy after people hop on with that natural base. So
yeah. Well, I also would say, man, this is kind of, I really wanted to get this done before I had this conversation with you, but it's been a while since I've got my blood work done and getting looks at some of the stuff. And I know you're super big on that. The last time I did, and I got my test levels checked, I was at like 200 something.
No way, wait, you were 200 test level?
Like I've always been super, super, super low, and like on the very end range. I think the normal end range or the lowest range is like 300 something. And I was like, yeah, I'm not like, it's fine. Like that's just how I've been forever. But I wanted to get it done again so I could show you. And it's been like, go ahead.
I got to see this for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to get it done. But even at that point, for me, there's nothing I can do, right? Like, I mean, I just have to have, like, you would have to go through, like, I take zinc, I take whatever other supplements that will help raise it naturally, but it's always going to be so low. Like, and I always feel like that.
Do you know what kind of zinc it is? Because you could be taking a crappy form of zinc that's like non-absorbable.
Oh, I mean, it's in like a multivitamin, like a.
Yeah, it's
not going to help. No. Not that I'm saying that I think it's going to matter. I'm just saying like any natural way to improve it, it doesn't matter. Like it's not going to be enough.
Well, here's the question: like, what are the natural supplements you currently take?
Vitamin D3.
How much?
10,000 IU.
Perfect.
Okay. Multivitamin, I take like more than I should with that. And Cissus, Cissus quadrilangus, the plant extract.
I really don't know that one. What's that
for? It's like joint support, but it actually really is really helpful. I take magnesium.
What kind of magnesium? Sorry.
Magnesium citrate, oxide.
Yeah.
Aspartate. Is that not good?
That's all. I mean, I would use it up. I would use it up until and then you can get better forms. Those are crappy forms. Anything else?
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Oh, I take vitamin K.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see that one.
Vitamin K, and I take copper. Yeah, that's it.
Is that pure encapsulations?
Yes.
Okay, I could see it kind of far away. I'm like, I know that brand. That's a good brand. Pure Encapsulation is a very good brand. I could
Yeah.
see it from far away. I'm like, I think that's pure encapsulation. No, that's funny. The vitamin D, perfect, 10,000. You want to have that up. That'll keep your level of vitamin D at like 80 out of 100,
Hmm.
which is perfect. That's high. That's what you want. Vitamin K, you want to get MK7 and MK4, which you're probably getting. That's good because that'll make sure the calcium is absorbed in your body and not going into like, your arteries and such and clogging them up. And the magnesium oxide and citrate are kind of like the crappy kinds because they're just not as absorbed. So when you run out of that, use it up. It's fine. Like I would definitely use it up. Once you run out of that, go to magnesium glycinate. You need to get magnesium glycinate. It's the best form. Then magnesium also helps ensuring calcium is properly absorbed and utilized and not like just, doing destructive things like kidney stones and stuff like that.
Sure.
The multivitamin, most of them are trash, to be honest, because they're not absorbable forms of like the things you want. So like the zinc and magnesium need to be zinc glycinate, magnesium glycinate.
Okay.
So zinc as well. Use up what you got, and then you want zinc glycinate. But as far as like testosterone, the natural things you can do that are WADA approved, they will not get you popped. There are herbs like tonkat ali, Fedosia agrestis. Have you heard any of this?
Yeah, my problem with that is like those extracts in like finding a reputable brand or like manufacturer to me is the risk factor here because if something's wrong or that
Oh.
it's like mixed or something is whatever like tainted, I'm terrified of that happening.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know personally how much test boosters actually help. I've seen anecdotal evidence of Fedosia agrestis boosting my luteinizing hormone, which raises test.
Mhm.
You could try the Gorilla Mind brand Sigma thing because it's got all those in it with the good zinc, good magnesium, and all that. That might be worth looking into. But
Mhm.
those are kind of the main things like tonkat ali, Fedosia, ashwagandha, zinc. Like those are the boron. I've done
Okay.
boron at high doses, 30 milligrams. But I
But
think
see,
in
my
the
question is like how much is that all gonna really help to push me into a range that actually is a tangible like effect on me, right? Like that is the real thing. Is like what if, high 200s or whatever for me is low, but it's fine. Like how much does it really affect things if I'm like 200 versus like 400?
well, if it's dependent on the individual, and the only way to do it to see is trial and error. So, like, if your testosterone from the test boosters went from 250 to 6, that'd be freaking, twice as much. That'd be noticeable. It's possible. So you really would have to just test the waters, see your labs before and see after. But that would be noticeable if you're really that low. Which, bro, I'm honestly like, I would be blown if you're consistently that low because your strength would be so high. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. But
I
like,
bet I'm very confident it's been very low for a long time.
do you have
I
any
don't have any
labs
issue. Go
at
ahead.
hand or like on your
No,
computer? Like,
it's been a while.
when was that you were saying these
And
references?
this was probably like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
You don't have my chart you can pull up?
It was with Quest, but I don't
Yeah, all right.
know.
I want to see. I'd be curious to see all the numbers because I like luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone. If those are like normal,
Hmm.
I don't know. I just want to see your cholesterol. Like, do you remember cholesterol, lipids, any of that?
Cholesterol was fine. Vitamin D3 obviously is deficient, and so that's why I started taking it. But
There are
yeah,
natural supplements that you can take to boost your performance, but I think you don't have to go crazy with them. There's just certain
right.
thing.
But like I don't have any like drive like sex drive is normal. Everything else is normal. I just have lack of energy sometimes, but that's really it.
Well, I'd have to see what your hematocrit's at as well, like your red
Mhm.
blood cells, how thick your blood is, stuff like that. Because if your hematocrit's low, that could, low iron, that's another one that could cause issues. Um, thyroid could cause issues. If your TSH is very, very high, that means your
Mhm.
thyroid is slow. That could be so. Really, you should just order a custom panel off of Merrick because it's like you can do it for $100. Then you
Mhm.
can literally get all this stuff tested and we can take a look at it. So I was probably less than $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'd be curious.
Okay.
It'd be
It's just one of those things. It's like, cool if I know, but where really am I going to be able to change? Naturally, I don't know that there's that much that you're going to really be able to do.
But you got to look at the whole sample. So you got to look at
Yeah,
everything. Look at
I
the
know.
thyroid. Look at the hematocrit. Look at the iron. When you see this stuff, you can make little tweaks to optimize performance. That's the new wave. That's going to be the next wave of natural powerlifting.
But again, like I'm terrified of getting a brand that I don't know that is, and I'm taking all of these different things that could be tainted, and then I'm worried running the risk of like me failing the drug test for something crazy. So it's
I
like
do
to
get
me,
that.
it's like that is super not worth it no matter what.
And I totally get that. But just you want to get a picture of all your numbers, like
Yeah,
not just testosterone. Look at everything, and then you can make some. If you want to make these decisions, then it's good to know and not bury your head in the sand. You know
I
what's
agree.
going on.